Hi, this is Michael Ostrolenk with the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons and Take Back Medicine, and I'm with Jim Martin from 60 Plus. Good afternoon, Jim.
Good afternoon.
We're here to talk about Jim's group, 60 Plus, and their battles against AARP during the Obamacare war. Jim, can you tell us about 60 Plus first of all, and then tell us about some of the things that you were able to do to fight against Obamacare?
Okay, well, thank you. Thanks for asking us. We like to talk about the 60 Plus Association, which I had the fortune to organize about 18 years ago. We are a conservative counterpart to the AARP. We make no bones about that. We make it clear up front that we are a conservative group. What gets the AARP, I think, in trouble with a lot of its members, it goes out and hawks a lot of products, claiming these are the best on the market, the less expensive products out there. They don't talk about their philosophy. Then when members find out after buying these products that they come from a very liberal point of view, they get a little bit upset. Let me point this out to you too. When they say in their advertisements that because we're 30 or 35 million strong, we can get you the best possible price. That's a pretty tough sales pitch to resist. 35 million, best possible prices. Then it comes out in congressional hearings that they made some $600 million in royalties or commissions. Some call them kickbacks. I don't go that far to call them kickbacks. Some do. Then seniors tear up their cards and say, holy God, I don't believe they got me the best price possible if they made $600 million in royalties or commissions. And in fact, that caused a lot of them to start tearing up their cards. In fact, one group invited me down to North Carolina to have a card burning, an AARP card burning event. I said, well, instead of having a card burning event, that might upset our friends on the left, the ecologists. It could be a fire hazard, as a matter of fact. Instead, why don't we just slice them in half, mail them on back into the AARP? In fact, take their business supply envelope, wrap it around a brick, and mail it on back in. I don't like the AARP very much. They're not too fond of us, of course. They're always taking a whack at the 60 Plus Association. By the way, I call them the AARP, the Association Against Retired Persons. We had a bumper sticker made up along that line. Quite simply, I must relate this story to you. I was with Dick Morris out in Little Rock, Arkansas a while back. I was on a bus tour throughout the state of Arkansas. And of course, Dick Morris, having run Bill Clinton's first campaign for the presidency, he's a rock star out in Arkansas, well known. We had a crowd of about 1,000 seniors at this one event. And of course, they all knew Dick Morris. Well, I was taken through the crowd, and this lady said, Jim Martin runs a seniors group. And before she could say the 60 Plus Association, I thought some of these seniors were going to assault me. They were saying, not the AARP. I said no. So I thought, well, to protect myself, I'll have this bumper sticker made up. We hold it up now, Association Against Retired Persons. Get a lot of applause. A lot of folks come up and want that bumper sticker. The reason I mention that, during the debate on Obamacare, Senator Chris Dodd on the Senate floor, I don't know if he'd been, well, I won't go whether he was drinking that day or not. He was notorious in his younger day with the late Ted Kennedy for their imbibing habits. But he said, the beloved AARP has come out for Obamacare. I'm thinking, Chris, you need to get outside the Beltway more often. The beloved AARP is not that well beloved among seniors around the countryside. If I could comment on Obamacare to this extent, someone said, Jim, does this make sense to seniors, this Obamacare? And I said, not at all, no sense at all. I said, well, it does make sense, though, dollars and cents, to the AARP's bottom line, because quite frankly, the AARP is nothing but a Fortune 500 insurance conglomerate. And let me pursue that 1 second. It is an insurance conglomerate. It is a Fortune 500. And the fact of the matter is, when I was a newspaper reporter, the old saying was follow the money. If you follow the money after this thing has gotten passed and gets implemented, the AARP will be the last insurance conglomerate left standing. These small insurance companies are going to get knocked aside because of Obamacare being there, reaping the benefits from the Obama administration. It's clear and simple. My argument with them on that is they do get taxpayers' dollars. Their high water mark one year, they got $89.6 million of your tax dollars and mine. We say, look, we don't mind you competing, but do it on your own dime. Don't do it on the taxpayers' dollar. And don't get me wrong. I like to quote Thomas Jefferson, who said, to take money, taxpayers' money, to promote an idea which half the public may agree with, but the other half may not agree with, to take those tax dollars, he said, that's both sinful and tyrannical, to use some of the old-fashioned language from those days. It is sinful and tyrannical to take tax dollars to promote an idea with which you may not believe. So,
where can we find out more about 60 Plus? And if people are interested in getting that bumper sticker, where can they get the bumper sticker?
all right, thanks for asking. You can go to our website, www.60plus.org. That's 60plus.org. We're located in Alexandria, Virginia, our national headquarters. We have, by the way, about 5.5 million senior citizen activists in our 18-year history. AARP, the Association Against Retired Persons, has nearly 40 million. They are in their 51st year. We're in year 18. We're not trying to grow that big. We do want to counter them, though, because quite frankly, until we came along with 60 Plus, they were always looked at as the looking out for seniors' rights. I think, quite frankly, they've been aptly named by us Association Against Retirees because, quite honestly, higher taxes, that's not benefiting seniors. Seniors who lived on fixed incomes, obviously, their retirement income. And so they're for bigger taxes, higher taxes. We're for limited government, less taxes, and an adherence to a document called the Constitution of the United States. We think that's a document that some people on Capitol Hill need to get reacquainted with.
Thank you, Jim.
Let me give you one other on Obamacare.
Sure.
I'd say one other thing.
Sure.
Obamacare, I remember last August at those town hall meetings, when senior citizens made up the vast majority of those attending those town hall meetings, they were called by one Democrat un-American. To be called un-American, those men and women who have fought on distant lands belonging to our armed forces, men and women or having relatives or friends alike who have fought to give her the privilege, the right, the freedom to call them un-American. That was the most despicable comment I've ever heard an elected official say, to call those men and women who have fought again for our country un-American. I don't want to name her. She is the highest elected Democrat in the House of Representatives. I'll just tell you her initials are Nancy Pelosi. But quite honestly, too, I've got a comment to make two of those Democrats on Capitol Hill. There's a tsunami headed toward Washington, D.C., toward Capitol Hill. It's a senior citizen tsunami. Seniors are angry. They're scared, too, about these cuts to Medicare. They're angry. They're upset. They've paid into Medicare for 45 years in its entirety. It's not a matter whether you're for Medicare or against it. It's the law of the land. It has been now for 45 years. Seniors have paid in. Now they're being asked, we're going to cut huge amounts of money out of Medicare to try to allow financing for 31 million younger folks coming into the marketplace. And there's 77 million baby boomers, those soon-to-be seniors on the cusp. How do you add 77 million and 31 million to a system and take $500 billion out of it? You don't have to have a computer to figure out the math on that. I can take an old number 2 pencil and figure out the math doesn't work. There's going to have to be long lines waiting. That leads to rationing. That's why seniors are upset. So I say there is a tsunami headed toward Capitol Hill. Unless it subsides, there's going to be a lot of members of Congress, Democrats in this case, who'd better update their resumes. They're going to be looking for a new line of work come November 3rd.
Thank you, Jim Martin from 60 Plus.